Yo, 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 what up, what up, what up? Good morning, everybody. Can you all hear me? I hope the audio is good. All right, good. This is yours truly, Rama Screen. It's Thursday morning, July 13th, here in California, 7:23 a.m. Last night was pins and needles, man. It was suspenseful because even though I'm not a SAG AFTRA member, I'm an entertainment journalist, so I was like tuning in to see what happened or what would happen when the contract ended like around 11:59 p.m. Wednesday, July 13th. I was like, okay, okay, is it? And not just me, everybody online on Twitter was just also waiting on that too, to see what SAG-AFTRA would announce on their Twitter account, because that's when the contract deadline was 11:59 p.m. Wednesday, July 12th, last night. Uh, Including actor Josh Gad, even actor Josh Gad, who is a member of SAG, he was tweeting like, "Oh my God, is this happening? Are we striking or what? What's happening here?" But 11:59 happened, and then 12 a.m. happened, 12:01 happened, but none of the announcement happened. And the SAG after did not announce anything until like around probably I want to say 12:40. Yeah. Then they like announced something along the lines of, and I can show it to you. They're like, okay, we're gonna officially vote on it in the morning, this Thursday morning. But it's for sure gonna happen because the deal has not, they did not come to a deal with AMPTP, which is Academy Motion Pictures and Television Producers, the studios basically. Um, Past the deadline. The deal, even when they brought in the federal mediator, the studios were crying like, "Oh no, actors don't go on strike. We're bringing the government in." It's like, "Oh, you're crying to the government." It's so hilarious. This whole thing has been quite a drama these past couple of days. Um, and so even after that, no deal, no deal. So they're gonna vote on it. They, as in the SAG after national board members, 9 a.m. this morning, Pacific time, California time. But it's for sure the vote's gonna be a strike, gonna be happening. Because there's no deal, there's no extension of contract. And I wanna also correct myself because I know I posted this, I think, on YouTube a couple of days ago when I replied to some of your comments about, hey Rama, what does this mean? And I said, I think along the lines of like, oh, the actors are going on strike in solidarity with the writers, and that's true. That's partly true, but I didn't give you the whole picture. Basically, it's also the actors' contract with the AMPTP. It's not just like, oh, we're going on strike, because our friends writers are on strike. It's not just that, um, and so I'm not privy to all the details of that contract that they always have with the AMPTP. I don't know exactly like the frequency of it, how many years until they have to renew it. Um, but I know for sure that this whole thing goes back to the same thing that the writers are dealing with, which is residual. Okay, I think I mentioned to you this before in previous videos that in the past, with the old media, before the internet, with TV and with movies, right? The movies, you get residual from the box office results, right? So everybody gets percentage of that. Um, the actors get percentage of that. The writers get percentage of that. If the movie does well the next weekend at the box office, they get a check as well. Writers get a check, actors get a check. On TV, yeah, the same, sort of similar in that, whenever the show airs in syndication, the show airs on another channel, then the writers get a check, get royalties. The actors get a percentage of that as well, So that's how it was in the days, in the back in the old days. But now with the internet and the streaming service that has been disrupting the system, the writers and actors are like, "Where's my check? Where's my residuals?" And let me show you this. Let me give you the background of my computer here. The New Yorker has a lengthy article that I really recommend you go read. It's about Orange is the New Black. Remember, Orange is the New Black is a fantastic, popular hit series on Netflix, and it's a lengthy article about how the actors were screwed over. They almost did not get a penny or like even like $20 out of the popularity of the show because again, I mentioned to you this before. There's still confusion as to how you monetize streaming service shows. Like I said in the past, when a TV show gets syndicated, and Friends was on NBC, right? Original on NBC, and then Friends got syndicated, and then it airs on TBS or TNT or there's a channel, and then the writers would get a check, the actors would get a check, royalty every time the episode airs on those other channels. Some of these shows, as you all know, jump these day and age, they jump from one streaming service to another. Like, this show's gonna be on Prime Video for 3 months, and then the next will be like on Hulu the next 3 months. Like, the actors and the writers are not getting any profit off of that. And this is a Netflix show that's only on Netflix, and they still get screwed over for that. So it's just like somebody gotta like sit down and figure out like how to really make sure the slices of the pie gets shared fairly from the streaming service format. And and the studios are really refusing to even have that conversation as far as I know, as far as I understand it. They just want to reap the benefit, all the way to the top, the CEOs, the executives, the shareholders, but they're not sharing those benefits and profits and to the writers and the actors. And I don't get the argument. Some of these studios, they'll be like, the streaming service studios, they'll be like, oh, we're not making money right now, we're not making profit right now. They're crying poor, oh, we're still struggling, Netflix, we're still struggling, oh, Prime Video, we're still struggling, we're still trying to figure out the how to do this whole streaming service monetize. Okay, so if you're struggling, if you're not making profit, then why are you giving your CEOs millions and millions of dollars in salary and bonuses? And they do, like you see that annually. They get paid like crazy amount of money. Um, so you're being hypocritical. Like, are you? If you say you're not profitable, then where'd you get all these money for all these for your fat cats, on the top? So clearly they have money. They just don't want to share with the workers. Um. So yeah. Let's see. Oh, here's I want to share you this my reaction from Matt Damon that I think is fantastic. Matt Damon was asked about this uh potential actor strike, and he responded from a place of empathy. As you know, Matt Damon, even though he's a SAG-AFTRA member, he's a millionaire. He doesn't, this strike's not gonna hurt him, right? But he's in solidarity with the other actors, of course, and then he gets it. He understands what's at stake here. So let me give you the response here. Okay.
Would be striking for if we
Okay.
what we would be striking for if we strike is unbelievably important. We got to protect the people who are kind of on the margins, and $26,000 a year is what you have to make to get your health insurance, and there are a lot of people who residual payments are what carry them across that threshold, and if those residual payments dry up, so does their health care, and that's absolutely unacceptable. We can't have that, so we got to figure out something that is fair. Anyway, we'll see where it goes. Everyone hopes that it won't happen. Nobody wants a work stoppage. It's painful for every other guild. Really painful for IATSE and all of our brothers and sisters.
Okay, so do you get that? I don't know if you, for those of you who live outside of United States of America, here in America, unfortunately, we do not have universal health care. So he's right. You have to make at least 26,000 a year working whatever company in order to qualify for that company's healthcare. The company provides the healthcare because we don't have universal healthcare. The government doesn't care about us. It's barbaric here. Um, and a lot of the writers and actors who are not millionaires like Matt Damon are not able to reach that threshold. The residual, the royalties, the checks, that's what would help them to meet that limit. He's correct. And so Matt Damon, even though he is a millionaire, he is very in tune with the working class actors. And he's Goodwill Hunting, man. But yeah, that's like the best explanation. I can't even like say it any better than what he said there. Unfortunately, in America, that's what you gotta do to afford healthcare because we don't because anytime there's an argument for universal healthcare, the government will shut it down with like, oh, socialism, socialism. It's so stupid. So, but that's another topic for another day. So yeah, that's what's at stake here, guys. That's why a lot of I talked to some people, some of my coworkers, who are not in the business, of course, in the show business, and they're so confused. Like, why don't they get paid when they write their movies or when they act in their movies? They get paid, right? It's like, no, but not every actor is Matt Damon, right? Not every writer is what's the example here? Akiva Goldsman. Not every writer is Dustin Lance Black or the big names of writers. Not every writer is like those guys. A lot of the writers are on the margin, like Matt Damon says, on the margin. People who are trying to come up with their own TV show, trying to come up with their own movie independently, not studio movie. So, and the people who I talk to in who are not in the show business, they don't understand that there's such a thing called residual. It's sort of like a passive income sort of a thing, but not quite. Passive income is more like stocks sort of base, where the money's making money, if you will. It's like kind of like a gambling thing. Residual is like whenever your created show, whenever your created movie airs, you get a check again for the thousandth time. That's what residual is. Um, which leads us to the opposite of Matt Damon. Okay, so let me close some window here. By the way, if you're wondering what SAG-AFTRA means, it stands for Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. I know it's a mouthful, but that's what they stand for. So Bob Iger, one of the studio heads, the CEO of Disney, has commented about this whole thing, and he said, "Here it is. Can you see it? Can you see it? Let me make it bigger for you guys. Okay. Disney CEO Bob Iger says there's a level of expectation the Hollywood strikers have that is just not realistic, and they are adding to the set of the challenges that this business is already facing that is quite frankly very disruptive." Oh really? Oh really, Bob? Oh really? See, this is the opposite of Matt Damon, a millionaire who are not in tune with the working class. Because he's basically saying like, how come these guys are not being reasonable? Are you not happy with your leftovers and the scrapes that fall off the food scrapes that fall off the table? Why are you not happy with that? Look, like I said, I told you guys earlier, we're struggling too. Disney's struggling. We're billion-dollar business. We're making so much money. Whoa, poor. Woe is us. Woe are we. Woe are we. Can't you see where we're coming from? Come on, writers, actors. And get this. Bob Iger earns $25 million annually, guys. All right, every year, and he just extended his contract to 2026. which is gonna give him more money and bonuses. And I got this also this sorry, today's National French Friday, by the way. Happy National French Friday for you guys. So, according to Forbes in 2019, Bob Iger's net worth is $690 million in 2019. Now, I'm sure not all of that is liquid. I think some of that is maybe properties, maybe stock, but that's still a lot of money. So again, whoa, come on, you guys are not being realistic. Why can't we just, do things the way we always do, where we pay you low wages or not at all? And here's the thing, guys. Here's what's evil about it. Did you see what Deadline reported yesterday? Um, I'm gonna share it from the discussing film. I think I posted it to you guys yesterday. So the studios and streamers reportedly have no intentions of negotiating with the Writers Guild for several months now. A studio executive says the end game is to allow things to drag on until union members start to lose their apartments and lose their houses. Wow, because these fat cats know that they're fine. They're fine in their mansion. Maybe not in the long run. When their companies start like bleeding money, but right now till October they're gonna be fine. The ones who are not fine are the writers and the actors on the margins who are picketing and striking, and they're not getting paid while they're striking and picketing. Man, this is so evil. This comment is so insidious, you guys. So heartless. The hatred that these executives have for the writers and the small time actors is unbelievable. They're just saying the quiet parts out loud here. It's ridiculous. And so I know a lot of friends of mine who adore Bob Iger, because they are Disney heads. They're Disney fans. They're Disney fans. They're Disney diehard fans, and they see Bob Iger as some sort of a savior. Because the previous CEO kind of fucked up Disney, for a short while. So Bob Iger had to come in and rescue the company, which he did a good job so far, according to my Disney fans. Um, but guys, don't forget at the end of the day, Bob Iger and the Netflix CEO and the Amazon Studio CEO, whoever it is, they're not Messiah, okay? they're corporate people. They're CEOs, and their job is to maximize profit for their shareholders. They're not obligated to you. They don't have responsibility to their writers and actors. Their responsibility is to their shareholders. That's their bosses. That's their actual true bosses. And so if they can cut costs, lay off workers, kill projects for tax write-offs like David Zaslav of WBD, whatever it is, they will do it if it means increasing profit for shareholders. That's their job. That's their job. They're not Jesus Christ. They're not. Their job is to maximize profits for their shareholders. That's all. Well, that's what they're there for. That's why they get paid handsomely. That's why they get paid the big bucks. And I tweeted the other day, maybe the system needs to be changed. Maybe the system needs to be changed. It's no wonder that more and more people are now becoming more and more pro socialism, because capitalism is fucking people over. Capitalism is fucking working class over again and again and again. So maybe there needs to be a system change where the CEOs should not get paid way too much money. Like there should be the disparity between or the gap between what the CEO makes and the writers make have to be lessened. You know what I'm saying? You have to reduce that gap. You know what I'm saying? It goes to the income inequality discussion, of course, which is um, uh, a very it's an epidemic in our country in every field, not just entertainment. But that's what needs to happen. Like you got to cut that gap down. Um, take some of that money away and give it to the workers. You know, it sucks that the fat cats keep getting continually rewarded while the workers that make those cats fat are not rewarded. I mean, yeah, I think this pandemic, this whole pandemic, 3 years ago, and Starbucks, unionizing and everything. It's starting to like wake people up to the reality that, hey, we're getting screwed over. We're not getting the fair end of our deal here. You know, and now inflation, like everything, cost of living is going up and up and up and up, and our wages stay stagnant. What the dealio? And now it bleeds into the entertainment business. Everybody's waking up. The writers and actors like, whoa, we can't have that. We can't have that. So, um, unfortunately, like I said, the government in America is so beholden to corporations, including Disney, that they're so afraid of regulating corporation or stepping in to become a referee. They're so afraid. That's why that's why the government is not giving us universal health care, because they're so afraid of the health insurance company, the private health insurance companies, which have them in their pockets. So unfortunately, that's out of the equation. That's not even an option to have the government help in this matter. So the writers and actors are going on strike, and hopefully this will hurt the industry where it hurts. Um, do I think it will work? I think it will. I think it will. How long will this last? I do not know. I do not know. And some of you asked, like, Rama, how is this gonna affect your YouTubing and stuff like that? Being a entertainment journalist and movie critic. Um, it only affects the fact that I probably won't get to interview celebrities for the time being. Because here's the bullet points here. What happens, right? So what's now? So actors are on strike. So actors are not allowed to, under their SAG contract, right, membership contract, not the contract with the MPTP. They're not allowed to film any movie, TV production. So shootings of production shootings shut down. Even Gladiator 2, that's happening right now, shut down. International shootings also. Actors are not allowed to take part in any press junkets or film premieres. There you go. That involves me, because I interview actors at press junkets or at red carpet premieres, as you all know. So that's not happening for the time being, for the foreseeable future. So I don't know how long it'll be. The third one is next week, San Diego Comic Con. So they're not allowed to promote anything at San Diego Comic Con, and will be advised not to attend at all. Here's what's funny though. I have received a lot of invitations to a lot of the San Diego Comic Con press rooms, as I always do every year. And on the invitations, I kid you not, the actors are there. The names of the actors, like for example, the Wheel of Time press line. Rosamund Pike was scheduled to be there, and all the actors. I bet you next week when I go there, Rosamund and all those guys will not be there. So what? It's gonna be very thin. Meaning, I'm only gonna probably interviewing the producers or the showrunners. Do you see what I'm saying? Or the so yeah, not writers, no actors. So it's gonna be a pretty short press room. Each press room, it's gonna be pretty, like, instead of like a long one. So that's what's gonna happen. That's what it means. This actor strike. And you know what? I'm always gonna be on the side of. I'm always gonna be on the side of the artists. I'm always gonna be on the side of the creatives. I'm always gonna be on the side of the workers. All right. Why? Because I myself am poor. I'm a working class man. I live paycheck by paycheck. So you know, I'm not Matt Damon. So kudos to Matt Damon for empathizing with them. But it doesn't take much for me to empathize with them, because I'm in the same boat with them, with these writers and actors. So I know what it means. I've been laid off before. I've been fired before. So I know how it feels. Getting screwed over by the man. So if these guys are sticking it to the man, sticking it to them, all the power, man. You have my support 100%. And again, this all comes down to residuals. They got to figure this out. If if residual is antiquated, if residuals quote unquote like thing of the past, not applying to it doesn't apply to today's standards anymore, then figure out what applies to today's standards. Figure out what replaces residuals. But you can't have these writers and actors go starving. You can't have these writers and actors go, without pay, without health care. Meanwhile, the fat cats, the CEOs, get paid hundreds of millions of dollars every year, bonus stocks, properties, what have you. That's not cool, man. That's infuriating to think about that. You don't even have to be in the show business, and that'll get you boiling mad, angry. I read the other day that the studios are even considering not just replacing the writers with AI, which is something that's a threat to a lot of livelihoods today. But they're also considering changing the system to into that so that the writers would be treated like gig workers. Gig economy, like Uber, like 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 contract workers. You know what I'm saying? Instead of employees with steady job, with healthcare benefits, and parking spot. Instead of that, they're gonna treat the riders like, oh yeah, you come in and then you go. We let you go. Just kind of like an Uber drive. Like you just go from point A to point B. We're not gonna have you stay in the writers' room like as a steady rider of us for us. I was like, that is so evil, man. Just like the executives, the studios are like brainstorming. They're like wrecking their brains to try to how do we keep screwing these workers so we can maximize profits for the shareholders. That's what they're doing. They're not wrecking their brains to like, okay, how do we come to the table and negotiate with the writers and actors. That's not what they're thinking. That's not what they're thinking. They're thinking of ways to like get around it. You know what I'm saying? Holy crap! It's just insane. Mr. Sushi, a lot of people who write scripts are already gig workers. Exactly, exactly. They want to make that a standard issue. So to eliminate completely the writers' room, right now they have writers' room where their steady working writers get health benefits, actual employees, and so they want to completely eliminate that and just have them be gig workers permanently. That's their plan. Um, So that is evil. That is so evil. Netflix ripped right off. Yeah, Netflix. Yeah, exactly. So it's the refusal. Netflix, Amazon, Disney, Endeavor, whatever the media companies, their refusal to come to the table and negotiate something reasonable for the writers and actors are what causing this actor strike. And like the nerve on Bob Iger's, man, to call the writers actors unreasonable. It's like he's like saying that they're being unreasonable. Like you guys get paid like millions of dollars every year while your writers can't even afford rent. How is that reasonable? So it's like, oh man, I'm telling you, greed is a hell of a drug. Our country, America, is in war, and I'm borrowing this from Tara Strong's words. Tara Strong is a voice actor that I idolize. She said, "America is at war with greed and ignorance." 100% correct. America is at war with greed and ignorance. I could not have said that better. So that's Tara Strong right there. Good quote. Um, Yeah, so 9 o'clock. That's when the national board of the SAG-AFTRA will decide on the strike. But it's inevitable. It's happening because the contract ended last night. I'm going to San Diego Comic Con next week to interview showrunners and hopefully executive producers, non-writers, of course, non-SAG members, of course, and I'll interview cosplayers. I'll still have fun. Even though there won't be any celebrities there, I'll still have fun. Don't worry. I'll buy some merchandise. I'll do some unboxing videos or whatever, and you'll get to see my San Diego Comic Con experience next week. However, however streamlined, however condensed that may be. All right, you guys, let me know your thoughts about this whole topic. I'm gonna go get some breakfast now. Thank you, Mr. Sushi, for chatting with me. For those of you who didn't get to chat with me online, uh, share your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Let's rock this.